Hi, this is Pim from Smart Diabetics Academy. Today I'm going to show you a very simple way of creating the perfect diet for diabetes. In this video, I'm going to show you the simplest way ever to put together your diabetes diet. So all food contain or consist of several macronutrients, such as carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So that's the basics, and that's pretty much what you need to know to get started. As a diabetic, you need to focus on the foods containing fats and proteins. So fat is your fuel source, it's what you need for energy, and protein is what builds up your muscles, hormones, and one of those hormones being insulin, even bones, and proteins are pretty much involved in all structures in your body and obviously involved in building all the organs and everything. So protein is very important. So you want to get enough protein, but not necessarily too much. Because when you have too much, you are going to use a lot of that protein for something called gluconeogenesis, or it's going to trigger gluconeogenesis, which is the process of creating carbohydrates from non-carbohydrate sources, such as proteins and fats. And this can then lead to an increase in blood glucose or blood sugar. So you don't want to overdo it, but having said that, unless you are piling on the proteins at each meal, you're most likely not going to overdo it, because it's really hard to accidentally overdo protein. Most of us have a satiety level for protein and we're just like, no, I'm done, I can't eat more of that. And having said that, please do not skimp on the fat, because fat is your energy source. So if you're not getting enough fat, especially in the beginning when you're swapping over to a more low carbohydrate diet, your body's not used to releasing the fat from your body for energy. Plus, when you're insulin resistant, it's going to be harder for your body to release that fat from your fat stores. So in the beginning, you need to teach it how to do that, and then it's very important that you get enough via food to A, teach it, and B, to have enough energy, because you're not going to be able to release enough from your fat stores. So to put together your actual meals, all you need is a little bit of knowledge of what macronutrients different foods contain, or maybe a list of foods that are high in protein, like just protein, and a list of food high in fat, and then a list of foods and their carbohydrate content, basically. So what you do is that you just pick one food from the protein list, or the list with proteins on, and at least one of the fat fuel foods on the list of fatty foods. So for example, that could be a piece of steak with garlic butter. That's my favorite example, because I really like that and I eat that a lot sometimes. And then if you want to, you can pick one of the foods that have some sort of carbohydrates in them. So that could be some low carb veggies or something like that. And I'm not talking about having donuts on that list. That's not necessarily a good thing, but sometimes if you really need a little bit of something, you can probably get away with it and doing it that way, but I don't recommend that you do it all the time. So make sure that that carbohydrate food doesn't contain more than 10 grams in total for that portion that you're eating. And that's it. It doesn't get any simpler than that. And the next job is obviously that you have to make sure that you are consistent. So if you decide that your limit is 10 grams, which is what I recommend, you can decide that your limit is 20 grams, whatever it is, but just keep it consistent so that you know how your body is going to react to it. And your body is going to learn that this is roughly the amount of carbs that comes with every meal, and it's going to adjust to that. So if you sometimes do 10 grams, sometimes do 50 grams, your body is not going to have a clue what's going on, and it's going to be really hard for you to stabilize your blood sugars. So consistency in terms of how much carbohydrates you're eating is really good. Protein and fat doesn't really matter so much. So if you're more hungry, just add a little bit more fat or a little bit more protein, and that's fine. If you're not too hungry, then you don't have to eat it all. There's no drama. You know, it's really simple. You don't have to complicate it. But just please do make sure that you never eat more carbs than your limit, because that is going to mess you up. And it can, if you do it today, your blood sugars might be all over the place tomorrow and the following day and maybe the following day. For some people, just going off plan a little bit messes up their blood sugar for almost a week. And it's really not worth that. It's better to plan and do a little cheat in a planned way if you need to do that, than just going off rails and not caring, because that is going to cause a lot of damage that you don't want. Obviously, you're going to have to do a little bit of monitoring and sometimes tweaking to get things right. Usually when you cut the carbs and you just have 10 grams of carbs, most people just adapt straight away. But sometimes we have some weird set points for the blood glucose and really severe insulin resistance, etc. And we have to tweak things a little bit and play around with things to get it to do whatever we want it to do. But it's very easy to do, and it's very easy for anyone to actually get started doing this the right way. And you can start today, literally. It doesn't require you to do much. So there are no excuses. Just pick your protein, start with that one, pick a fat source, and then if you're going to have some sort of carbs, you need to calculate how many carbs there are in there and just go and eat it. And that's your main meal for today. And if you want to learn more about how to get control of your blood sugar, start reversing your diabetes, I have a free training that you can sign up for. If it teaches you exactly how to put together your perfect type 2 diabetes diet plan. So what you do is to sign up, if you just click the link that I posted down in the comments, and then you fill in your name, your email, and you will get access to the training, and it doesn't cost you anything, so you can just do that whenever. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel and click the bell icons to get notified whenever I'm uploading a new video. I'll see you later.